got 3L SEA, which is the first time I've actually seen them play against the all-known DION Strategist. Hopefully they got their strategy caps on tonight. Looking at the lineup for 3L, we've got LOL Icon DNFG, OELLC versus the people on DION H2K Super RMBG Rascal Jor. Now, interesting tidbit here. Okay. Both Super RMBG, also known as Infamous Castrol, and Rascal Jor were previously making up the starting team from Infamous Spectre last season. So what they've done is they've actually completely moved out of Infamous for this tournament and back into DION starting lineup. H2K, the actual leader of DION as a whole, making his mark here in the starting lineup. So this should be really good from both sides. DNFG, also well-known, great player for the 3L side as well. So we should see a lot of sparks fly today.
Oh, fingers crossed. We do like sparks. We do like competition. But do you know what I like? I like to see the chat, and with the support I saw in the chat seemed to be for DION. There was a lot of DION love, so it looks like our top boys here in blue will be the underdogs. So I've got to support them. But we will be going into the draft for right now. There it is. The cameraman is on point today, and the draft has started. Autocorrect, what do you expect to see? We're going to see a lot of the same, or you know DION better than I do? Do you expect to see something different?
I think we're going to see a lot of the same. I think we're going to see a strong Adagio pick from one of the sides. Sky has been picked out, so that's interesting because a lot of good Sky players in SEA. So yeah, this is quite interesting. Glaive, a really good comfort pick coming out. No rhyme at all these days, which is a good comfort pick for a lot of NA meta. So we're seeing kind of the rotation of a lot of the same characters. We saw Celeste previously played quite well as well, which we don't see very often these days. It would be nice to see something else. What would you say?
I want to see Ozo.
You want to see Ozo?
Ozo's good. Ozo is fantastic. If you get a Serpent's March double Tyrant and you crit with your A, you pretty much get all of your health back. I'm not even kidding. I mean, I was on like no health. I jumped in with a 3-ring circus, had like just over half of my health back. It was insane.
Right, and we haven't seen Jewel. We haven't seen Cruel much. No Petal. We saw Ronan once, which was quite good. I would love to see an Alpha. What would you say? I would love to see an Alpha.
Do you know Alpha is actually a counter to Blackfeather?
Yeah.
Not weapon Alpha.
Prime Directive. It just wrecks face with that.
If you can keep your stacks up, especially if no matter where you are, if you keep your stacks up and you initiate with your A, like you said, the Prime Directive, you will half health him. I always overdrive my A now, not my B, because my B doesn't actually give you that much. So I overdrive my A to do that massive amount of damage, and Blackfeather actually stays weak. It stays a little bit below Alpha as the entirety of the game goes on. They actually spike at the same point, and Alpha still stays ahead.
Yeah. And look at the builds here. So we do see a Celeste, or the characters.
These builds are looking fantastic, Mr. Autocorrect. You will acknowledge this. You will acknowledge what I'm saying, Mr. #AutoIncorrect. So these builds are good. I mean, what do you see as the build so far? Like that breaking point right there, fantastic. That's the attacker. He's gone into deadly silence. Maybe I should back off.
Just gonna let you just do your stuff, man. Just do your stuff. Get it all out.
I've been waiting for that. I wasn't able to do it for the last 2 streams, and I finally called him out, guys. Don't worry. #AutoIncorrect in the stream. Sorry, right.
I'll start keeping track of your mistakes.
Oh yeah,
now.
you do. Do you know what? I'm not going to make any mistakes from now on, because right now the characters are as follows. The looks are picked in. We have the Scarf, we have the Glaive, and we have the Catherine, followed up with the Taka, Celeste, and Fortress. So you want to talk about the builds? Let's talk about the builds quickly. What have they picked up there?
Oh, are you being serious now, or are you still being...
No, I'm being sarcastic. Carry on, then what are we talking about?
Right, okay. Hard to tell.
There's the British flair for you. We all sound sarcastic, regardless.
Yeah, you guys are all a bit like that, aren't you?
He wants it. He's trying. But anyway, the game has started, and we're just seeing the farming happening in lane. We're trying to see... I'm seeing a Scarf versus Celeste, like... I'm not much of a laner. I'm more of a jungle person, so I've never really run into this kind of issue before. What do you think is going to prevail? Like the healing bush?
Oh, they came up that front side.
Yeah, they came up. They didn't go to shop. They went straight up to lane, and the Celeste was so close. There was no vision being able to pop, so she just got caught out so fast.
really important to have that vision.
Oh, definitely. I agree with that. Like a flare out there, just so you know where they're at. I always flare a little bit further than the shop, just so I know I can get that fish as well. But look at that damage! Oh my lord, I talked for too long, and Celeste just got absolutely melted. Did you see that, Mr. Correct?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you've got double weapon blade in on that glaive, and he's going to do a lot with that twisted stroke, already level 2, and you saw it right there. So good ganks from both sides. You're seeing H2K running that energy battery as a lot of Celeste do, but that means that until we start getting some actual crystal power, you're going to rely on those basic ability damage from those Helios, and need to be really careful with Celeste. You know, your positioning with Celeste super important and easy to get locked down. So I expect to see a lot of ganks coming in from that. One of the best gank kind of comps I like to see is that glaive and that Catherine.
Yeah, you afterburn into the Mercer's Pursuit. The laner helps pick up the kill, and whoever gets the kill gets the kill. But it's a level 4 Scarf versus a level 3 Glaive. I mean, this Tack has been doing quite a good job of farming. There was one point where he was 15 CS to like Glaive 6. I mean, he's doing a very good job, and they managed to lock down Fortress there. And they're going to punt it. He missed the afterburn. Oh, so close. But Celeste being able to hold the backline there takes a Spitfire Goop combo to the feet. Not a little bad trade-off there. Glaive had to back off there. As now we got Taka going into the lane. He's using his Kaku to get in, and they're all going to dive in. Looks like they all use their boots at the same time. No, not Fortress. Sorry, Fortress didn't use his boots because he's got a speed buff. But that was not the best return damage from DION right now.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's really worth it to do that there. You know, I think, especially if they're going to focus on that Catherine, I think they just need to pick their times and don't try to overreach and go for things that you're not going to get. Just save it and pick your times.
Oh, definitely. So we got the 3-man in the jungle. Celeste was going to go to lane, but then she backed off. They see the Kaku there, and Scarf is stuck up in the lane trying to clear this minion wave. But Taka is taking so much damage on the Glaive, but he takes a core collapse to the face. Glaive will be stunned, but only takes a basic attack for his troubles. These engages, they're not really don't really have the best like gank comp essentially, unless they can get that core collapse off first.
Yeah, and I think, you know, typically what you want to do with Celeste is you want to just make sure that you got that. What I like to do is if I'm going to push up the lane a little bit as Celeste, I'm going to make sure I have a Helio first in that lane bush there, just so that I can make sure that if I do get into the danger area, which is that middle center area, that I've got that vision.
Definitely. Like if I have ever played Celeste, she's possibly my least favorite hero because I don't like how weak she is at late game. Because EU meta is all about late game, so I just personally don't like her. So I always have, if I've ever played it, there's always a Heliogenesis in any bush that I'm near, even my own, essentially, just in case they come up behind me and I don't have vision in that tri-brush, because that's the best thing that she is for. You don't really need to carry flares when you have a Celeste, because she is essentially a walking flare.
Yeah, and I think you know, and then once you get that overdrive, you get that super huge range buff on that. Then you can even check bushes even more. I would even go, if I'm the support, go more with the scout trap, so you have some standing vision, and then use any flare type of situations where you need a flare for the Celeste.
Yeah, definitely. That's a really good idea. And now Taka has just picked up his tension bow. This is going to be a good damage spike, and he's going to use it immediately. This is what you need to do if you buy a tension bow, and the Glaive misses his afterburn and hits it on the Fortress. Just missing the Taka. Could have got some serious damage off there, but that was an unfortunate side of events. And now, especially getting a tension bow, that's what you need to do. I was starting to say, as soon as you buy a tension bow, you need to use it. You need to get that damage off immediately and start getting a little bit of a snowball going.
Yeah, and, you know, definitely I haven't seen them really pushing into the enemy jungle much, leveraging that tension bow, so I expect to see them kind of doing that now. You see a nice push here, 3-man push here. They're trying to steal some jungle here. Taka's in his back, getting farmed up as much as possible. Looks like they want that Taka to just get as much level as possible, as quick as possible, which is actually a pretty good idea, I feel.
Oh, definitely. But the thing is, even though he's getting the levels with the Catherine helping the Glaive there with a little bit of the gold, that extra gold that he's going to get may start tipping the scales in his favor. Even though he is behind in CS, he's catching up very slowly, which is good for a little lolicon here on the Glaive, that tier 3 Glaive. I do like that tier 3 Glaive, but the rotation could be hard into lane, but there is a Catherine waiting there to stop them. This is a very aggressive DION team right now. Yeah,
and I think you might even be seeing a little bit of that previous Infamous style kind of wearing off on them, you know, because there are two guys from Infamous there. Nice healer comes in. Taka actually focusing in on the glaive. That's not a good pairing because that glaive is going to be able to burst him down pretty fast. Here comes DNFG rotating down. He needs a Spitfire on the Taka. Will he hit just out of range? Super Arm needs to get a basic attack to get that speed burst. Goes the other way with the Chitin. Now he's got it, but is it too little, too late? Merciless Pursuit. Oh, she gets out of there. Decides not to push forward, and the Afterburn not getting anything but a couple minions for that. Rascal Jordan now rotating down to help out, and Taka just showing how slippery he can be.
He had a chill on his tail. That Afterburn just clipped him. But I don't think Lolicon should really fight this fight because the Taka is a little bit stronger than he is right now. And there we go. And the Kaku comes out. And there is the Bloodsong to reveal him. But the damage is so strong. There's the Afterburn and the instant Afterburn knockback. But Supermaniac is in a bad position right now. He's going to have his Chitin up, and he does have it up, and he uses the speed boost to try and get away. He does have his Exretsu back, and now Glaive will fall with a Heliogenesis. There we go. Superman may kill himself here. He is so close to death. There is no Scarf, there's no rotation, but there is a Core Collapse to hold him down, and the Chitin over! Oh, the place! Oh, my lord! Oh, correct. That was amazing.
That was MLG. That was pure MLG right there. I thought you know he was gonna be in trouble because he used his Kaku early when he had pretty much full health. He used his Kaku against the glaive and didn't have it later. So I thought, okay, he burned his Kaku right away. This is big trouble for him. But while dodging over the stun, Super Arm showing his MLG skills there.
Yeah, we did, and you guys didn't hear it, but the cameraman in the background just started yelling. Like, just as soon as he saw that silent, that he dodged that stun, it was just so much noise in our ears. But it was quite funny to see. Zoom in on Taka for us, cameraman. Let's make it do some work. And back out again. There we go. And we'll go and have a look at the lane right now as they're starting to be a little bit more aggressive. We're seeing the damage coming out from LLL. They really want to get some damage off here today. I'm not sure what they're going to be able to do with this one. There's the scout trap being popped. It's going to be quite passive for this one. We're going to see Attacker dive in, maybe, and he takes a lot of damage. There's the Dragon's Breath return. When we start to see the Afterburn, so at least lock him down, but the Fountain is popped. He's going to keep him alive. The attack on the back helping him out even more. He's going to survive, and the Exretsu picking up the kill on the Glaive. Oh my lord, that is how you turn around a fight. The Fountain keeping him alive. They weren't able to pick up the kill because then the Wolves came out with the fortified health. Spitfire to the face of Super Arm, just keeping him down. Wow, this is good coming out from DION. They are playing this superbly.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was for sure dead, and he got knocked back from the glaive Afterburn, but the fortified health, just super OP, just sitting in that flame and just taking no damage, combined with that nice fountain timing. So, and look at, he's already almost back to full health. So it's just fantastic job for DION, timing all their active item hits.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could have timed that better. Right, he just got super lucky, or he's fantastic. But they're going to catch out a Catherine here. The Core Collapse just misses, but the Exretsu is blocked by the Storm Guard. They're going to be able to pick up the skill regardless, and Taka picks it up with that tension bow proc. That was a very good gank, and Catherine was a little bit too low health to be shopping in the jungle alone.
Yeah, she didn't have any vision down there. They're going to get this nice gold mine. Will it be ganked from Lolicon coming in with an Afterburn? He could steal it. He might try, but he decides not to, and now he puts himself in a bad position, going to have to use Afterburn and get out. Knocks back to Taka, but here comes Fortress. They hit a scout trap, take some damage. Scarf is kind of just playing hide and go seek with that upper lane bush there. Now comes in to provide some reinforcement and some cover fire. So good take from the, Taka's going with a double. Is he going with a double proc build here with an Aftershock?
I think in this scenario, that's not actually a little bad idea, especially against the glaive. You got that cooldown, you got that double proc, so when you Exretsu, that's a serious amount of damage. You can stay in a little bit longer if you build a little bit tanky, and then that Kaku will give you another proc again when you come back in the fight, and then a Chitin just to be invincible. I do like double proc, but in this scenario, I think it is worth it.
Yeah, we'll see if it pays off here. Definitely if he can time the procs, it'll be really good for him. He's going to quickly Chitin out of there, and there comes another team fight. Who are they focusing in on? Is Glaive versus Celeste. That's not what he wants. Celeste is getting in big trouble here. The Wolves have come out nipping at the heels. Here comes the ultimate! Deletes out Glaive at the last minute. And also DNFG on the other side. So we'll have a one tiny lone wolf nipping at his heels. And look at the damage on a Spitfire on Rascal Jor.
They managed. I don't know how Scarf survived against Taka. I think we both didn't watch that. I watched the Glaive fight as well. That was a fantastic Solar Storm. But obviously the Catherine just perfect positioning in on that Taka. And this is a game, because he's so slippery, because he's going double proc, I'm building Contraption. I don't care what anyone says. Contraption is possibly my second item for that cooldown, for that those scout traps, so when he dives in, he is not getting away.
Well, I think anytime you play a Taka, you should build contraption. Period. I think,
Really?
in my opinion, yeah, I think just you need that on-demand vision against Ataka. And also the other bonuses definitely are really helpful as well. But I just feel like in the end it's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay for itself when you've got all this on-demand things. You don't have to have an extra slot open, and against a slippery, really good Ataka like this, you need all the help that you can get.
Oh, you do, but this Scarf isn't stupid. He knows how to back off. But this Fortress is going to get punished for his overextension, and he actually fountains himself. That's not going to be good for his two little carries here, and Scarf's going to try and hold the back line, and the fountain is popped, and here comes the Dragon's Breath. Try and do something, but there's no Warhorn. H2K's not going to take too much damage from that one. And here comes an Afterburn, and they're going to take down H2K. And that is a fantastic kill, and this is exactly where our blue team needs to be. And a Spitfire does land on the Super Arm. That was fantastic. And he takes another one. Oh. That's not where you want to be right now. And he manages to back off. He has got a little bit of healing from the Kaku. That is what he needs. If he takes one more Spitfire, though, I think he's possibly dead.
Yeah, I think you also have to be really careful. I think he's playing with fire here. Merciless Pursuit. And the Afterburn is up, so he could be really in trouble if the Afterburn comes in. They are looking pretty low on energy, so I think they're going to back off here. But one turret down, two turrets down now for H2K's team. So 6 and 5 on the kills, 22.1K versus 21.5K on the gold. 12-minute coming in on 13-minute now.
It is indeed. Looks like they actually skipped their backs. Looks like they really wanted to engage on this fight, and that's exactly what they're going to try and do. But here comes the Merciless Pursuit onto the Kestrel. Maybe a little bit too early as Kaka Exvetsu's in onto the Scarf. The Fountain comes out. We're going to see the poke on someone, and Apache punches Fortress away. The Solar Storm picking up the kill onto Scarf, and Fortress picks up a Warhorn just in the middle of the fight. There we go. There's a nice return ace for DION, and that was not the best of fights for our blue team there.
They're really split, I think, diving in way too deep for Glaive, not respecting the fact that the DION could collapse so well on him. And then also that Solar Storm, as you mentioned, key Solar Storm in. They're just going to take, Rasco's just going to take this. He's just going to tank it, and they're going to get another turret. And so this is perhaps a nice comeback for DION as they start to even out the score.
They are ahead in the gold now with that gold mine and turret taken, with all those bounties of course secured, and they are ahead in kills also, so this is looking good for a good turnaround. Especially as Taka has now got his aftershock. That proc burst is gonna hurt.
Yeah, and he's also got that shard, so he's gonna actually try to go through that shielding of possibly Glaive, but with Scarf having no shielding and a tier 2 armor, this is looking like he may actually go on that Scarf. Might look for that Scarf.
I think so too. When I build proc build, I usually build a little bit more tanky. So now I'm going to play like a Koshka. I'm going to get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out, not even stay for too long. Is getting that old Blazing Salvo and Piercing Shard a good idea if he wants to build more offense? But we'll talk about more about that later as she manages to actually stun out Super Arm. And this is a much better position that the blue team find themselves in. But the Twisted Stroke is down, the Afterburn is up, and the poke is real coming out from H2K. He's in a good position. I think he just bought something there. That was quick as all hell. I think it was the chronograph. I'm not sure. But their poke is real, and they're allowing this Celeste to poke them down. That's not what you want to do, especially in this kind of comp where Taka's just going to dive in and burst you down if your health is a little bit too low. This is playing really passively, this game, actually, if I may say so. They start to be aggressive, and then they think better of it. Is this a good strategy? What would you recommend to both teams?
Well, I think what they're looking for is one person to overextend, one person to make a mistake, and then capitalize on that at this stage with the turrets pretty much burned down here. Any kind of ace here, especially with the Kraken now spawning, could lead to that sort of snowball, and I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that one mistake, that one out of position.
Oh yeah, I think so. That's what we're going to see. Like, the kills haven't changed. The gold difference is still in the favour of our boys in red, DION, even though they are looking. It's been caught up a little bit. They've closed the gold lead. Our blue side is looking strong, but now Helga is on the field. The cameraman knows what I should do. Don't zoom in. Did I trick him out? Did I get him? Nah, probably not. But they're going to try and put the vision in the scout trap. And we're seeing here, let's have a look at the build, see what we have right now, see what's working, what isn't. I mean, we're seeing Scarf here. It looks like he really wants a Frostburn and or Shadowglass, but he's listened to you maybe, and he built the Eve of Harvest first instead of the Broken Myth. Is that better in this scenario?
Actually, I don't advocate building Eve of Harvest on Scarf.
Really?
For me, as I mentioned before, what I like to do is build out damage. I like to actually have a Shatterglass or Frostburn first, because I know that when you're getting into these battles where people are kind of just staring down at each other and you're poking and throwing in Spitfires, you're doing a lot of damage. So then when the fight actually does happen, you've got somebody on the enemy team who's already down in health.
You have a look at the Dragon's Breath. The turnaround from Scarf is real. They pick up Fortress, and now Celeste is going to try and pick up the kill on the Glaive, and she does beautifully. This could be a 1v2. Will she pick up? No, she won't. Scarf with a fantastic 433 damage Spitfire just to pick him up. Scarf is doing some serious damage. He's almost got that Shadow Glass. One turret, and he will have it. This is a good position for LLL to find themselves in.
Yeah, definitely. You're also seeing that the stacks on that Broken Myth doing a lot of work there, picking up the slack on this crystal damage. He had 5 stacks throughout that entire thing, and then so what you want to do with Scarf is you want to make sure you've got those stacks up, and then that Dragon Breath will come in and just do so much damage. I mean, 35% amplification of your CP is a lot, especially when you're carrying a decent amount of crystal. He's now probably going to pick up that Shatterglass.
He picks up a Frostburn.
No, he picks up Frostburn, and he takes that extra money and buys a Crystal Infusion. So for this push, probably actually a good deal there to do that, and they're going to all go and now push this Kraken and try to get that, maybe pick up if they win the team fight here, they could actually win the game.
They could, and Fortress is a little bit overextended, and they're going to absolutely destroy him. And this could be DION going out, but the damage from Taka is amazing. And here comes the Dragon's Breath as the Solar Storm comes in. Look at the Warhorn! The Warhorn following up with boots to speed him up to kill that Taka. This could be game. This could be DION taking a 0-1 right now, but it's not over till it's over. But the damage is real. Glaive's going to tank the turrets on this one, apparently, and try and do the damage necessary. Wow, this is a good showing for our boys in blue.
All of that led to the fact that Rascal Jor overextended and got in a horrible position there. Good recognition from Glaive to immediately pounce on them. This is exactly what I was talking about. As soon as you can penalize somebody, especially with this double stun comp like this. As soon as somebody overextends, as soon as someone is out of position, you come in with that afterburn, knock them back, get the double stun with the Catherine, and then you can just absolutely delete them. And that's what they did. Great job for them to recognize that, and really shows their ability to really capitalize and then on the enemy team's mistakes.
I couldn't have said it better myself. So right now what we'll do is we'll look at the builds. What do you see? What do you not? What do you don't like? And what do you think could be done better, Mr. Correct?
Well, you saw the Catherine actually going with the Warhorn instead of a contraption there, and it was actually okay because of the ability to just do so much damage in that area. You've got that Dragon Breath timing really well with that with the Broken Mist stacks. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the Eve of Harvest unless you're actually being focused down. I didn't see Scarf being focused too strongly by DION. They were focusing in on that Glaive, trying to get him down, but the problem is Glaive has a decent amount of HP and defense there. He's got the Fountain of Renewal, which gives him kind of a spread of some armor, some shield. You know, I would have actually liked to see him go with a stronger defensive item, maybe a crystal, maybe an anti-crystal item with a Aegis to counter the Aftershock and some of the damage output that Celeste was doing. But Celeste, if you look at Celeste builds here, relying heavily on the Broken Myth, I think Celeste is one of the characters where Eve of Harvest is actually quite nice because you can just continue to build and sustain with every supernova that you actually connect with. A little bit lack of damage, crystal damage, wasn't really making that huge bang effect, clearing them out with that Solar Storm. You saw her hit the Solar Storm dead on everybody, but it wasn't doing that massive amount of damage there. It was actually the Supernovas doing more damage for Celeste, and that is the problem I have with Celeste, is that late game damage, even if she had a Shatterglass, even if she had a Frostburn, is just not enough. And this may be something that devs look at in the future, because I feel her early game is strong, but her late game falls off really, really heavily, and you saw that right there at the end. Rascal Jor going in there. No Atlas Pauldrons to counter that Glaive, actually. He was able to just afterburn in, spam his skills, and do a lot of crit damage there. He didn't actually even have crit item, but he does have that crit with the Twisted Stroke. So I would have actually liked to see, a Minion's Foot, or he could have even gone a double Minion's Foot in the end there just to get something there with that. But I like the Taka going with the double proc. You like it as well. I like it as well. The problem is he's really squishy. He's inherently really squishy. If he gets held, if he gets stunned, if he gets seen, it's just game over. And his ability is really just come in and do a bunch of burst damage and get away. He's not a sustained damage, so you need to have somebody else on the team that can pick up some sustained damage so that Taka can just come in and finish off the wounded person. And that was kind of the problem there with them towards that late game.
Definitely. I can't. Do you know what? This is why I like you doing the builds, because I don't know. I'm not that good. I can't analyze like that. I just shout and get hyped, and apparently it's okay. But for right now, we will be starting up the second game, and maybe our boys in red now can actually take it as a good 2-0 sweep. But I don't think DION are going to let this go by any means, shape, or form. So it should be a fantastic matchup for your faces. So what do you think we're going to see in this game today, especially what happened in the last game?
Well, I think they need to get rid of that Celeste, and I think they really need somebody that can hit super hard as a ranged character. I would like to see some laner carrying some significant damage. They've banned out the Scarf. The Blackfoot's been banned. I would like to see a stronger mage being used, but they're going to pick up the Glaive instead. So again, they're putting a lot of faith in that Glaive. They've seen how it's worked in other games, and so they want it for themselves. And they're going to take away that ability for LL to just do that hardcore double stun comp.
Yeah, this is when I would run Adagio Ringo. Because Ringo's quite good at keeping Glaive at bay. So I wouldn't even pick my support up at this time. I would just go Adagio Ringo and make sure that I had it. Because Ringo is still quite a hard one to counter, especially as his main counter Blackfeather is no longer in this game. That pretty much leaves like Celeste or Vox open or Sky in the lane. And Ringos have no problems against Sky.
Yeah, and with them first picking a Glaive, I don't think they would go double weapon, so they would have been safe to actually pick up the Ringo anyways. They're going to go with the Celeste again, but they're going to counter that. Yeah. They're going to counter that with the double stun, though. So they're going to get the double stun now on their
triple
side.
Stun.
Triple stun with
Look at that.
the core collapse if you can hit it. Now, Arm is actually a pretty strong Celeste player, so I'm willing to bet he can hit that core collapse, but they picked that Ringo with that Adagio, which is super strong.
Maybe they heard us and were like, oh yeah, he does do good. So Glaive is going to... I think Glaive's positioning is going to be key. Glaive is going to be the thing that brings this all together. One missed afterburn could be one terrible team fight if they can't back it up. So I think they just have to go with the early deletion of Ringo. They have to keep Ringo down because Adagio can't... No matter how strong Adagio is, he cannot go 2v3. He can delete one person, but he can't survive for very long. So my strategy for this game, if I am DION, is kill Ringo as fast as I can.
Yeah, and they've got one of the best gank comps to do that. So I would expect to see them try to clear farm as much as possible and just gank the Ringo and starve him. Even if you don't get the kill, if you can starve him more and let Celeste get a little bit farther ahead, this is going to help you immensely in the early to mid game fights.
Oh yeah, I think just start. I think in this game it is essentially starve the laner because Adagio and Glaive, they can go at it all day. I think Glaive will probably normally always come out on top. He's quite good against Adagios if positioned well. But my lord, Celeste is not going to do too well against a Ringo, so they need to keep the Celeste up and running just for the majority of this fight. But I think the action's about to happen in the jungle. We see Glaive and Catherine are extremely low when Adagio's just getting... Glaive's just getting all of his health back, and he's coming back in, and we saw look at the damage coming in. They took down Adagio to half health. Wow, that was quite a good play getting them on the scout trap, and they're just going to take the tops and then back off as Glaive rotates into the lane and probably into the backs.
Yeah, scout traps in the beginning of the game, they even used to do more damage until they nerfed them, but you're still seeing the them getting penalized for coming in, and that's exactly what you want to do to counter people invading. You got to use those scout traps, and so I've seen a lot of teams do no scout traps and just go flares in the early game, and I find that that's a problem, especially when you know that an Adagio is going to run in and try to engage and go in on you, and that's a nice after burn. Glaive just gets out in classy fashion there. Good job for him.
Very good. He managed to get one of the backs, I think, but they secured the other one. That flare just missing him there. If that would have got him straight on, I think Adagio would have just hit him through the wall. But no, that was. I think that was actually quite lucky from Adagio for that flare being misplaced. Oh, sorry, Glaive for that flare being misplaced. But he did manage to secure a little bit of farm, but lost a fair amount of his.
Yeah, and you're seeing HGK now picking up a double crystal bit, which is really good. I like to do that as well, get some significant damage. Adagio now pushing in on the tri-bush, Arm coming in across. Scout Trap right in the middle there. And look at that. They're going to go in and gank in, but where is Glaive? Is he going to get that Afterburn in time? Doesn't need to. There's that double crystal bit doing work, and we're doing exactly what we mentioned they should be doing, is pushing that Ringo out.
They are indeed. It's like whenever I say something, they start listening to me. Now, looks like Glaive is a little bit hesitant to go into the back, and he is good because of it. But then instead, they're just going to try and come up and steal this medic camp. As Adagio, I'd say the backs are a little bit more important, and just going to steal it if he can steal it. But there's Mercer's Pursuit to stop him. Oh, the deny! DION just going away and laughing. Rascal. That was a pretty. I think that was a good Mercer's Pursuit there, just denying his face. Arden probably hates Catherine even more now.
I appreciate the small things like that, and this is just a really nice, just classy play there.
They did, and look at that, another stun onto Lolicon, and they're going to have to try and back off as they just delete Rascal. That was perfect, even as Ringo was running away, he was doing damage. Absolutely beautiful, coming up from the side of the NLL. The red team is still looking as strong as they did in the last game, and the goal difference is pretty much exactly the same at 5.8k, 1 kill apiece. It's another slow game, but still a very interesting one.
Yeah, and you're seeing Ringo just he actually did a good decision there because he's a level 4 against a level 2. So Catherine playing a little bit too aggressive there, thinking you can just soak up all that damage, but forgetting that at level 2 you're going to get a lot of damage against you and getting deleted rather early in that. And that's something that you got to be a little bit careful of in these early games, is you can't quite be as tanky as you might want to in these team fights, and so you need to be able to peel a little bit even as a tank.
Oh, definitely. Like, she tried to peel a little bit too late, and Super Arm's going to take some damage from Ringo, who wasn't even stutter stepping, wasn't able to get any additional shots off. But they really want to get this Ringo. They're just babysitting the Celeste because they know if Ringo goes hard, he's going to kill the Celeste pretty quickly. But it looks like, is he trying to build that? Is he trying to build that tension bow? Because he's got that 6-inch.
Yeah, it could be. It could be a tension bow there, maybe looking to just kind of burst down a single target, which is what tension bow is great for. DION's not going to go in there. I really like the vision that is being put out by 3L right now. Scout traps both on the side of the enemy and then also on their own side as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's doing very good. Looks like they want some turret damage though, maybe. Looks like they're going to try and push the turret for a little bit, and that's exactly what they're going to do. And they may be able to get this to half health, but they won't be able to do much more. They have to back off as the Mercy Machine comes out. It does manage to stand the Ringo, and they manage to back off, but Adagio puts himself out of position as the core collapse stuns the double stun. They're absolutely perfect, and the Heliogenesis picks him up. I'm not sure what the plan was for Adagio, but maybe he just sacrificed himself there, but he could have survived.
I think it was a little bit of a sacrifice. I think also Glaive was looking to knock back the Ringo, but actually settled for the Adagio, and they got the kill anyways. I love the fact that Catherine is timing the stuns, getting the stuns properly there, and letting them combine with a lot of the core collapses from DION with a nice double stun there with the core collapse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like to say there that we're seeing that DNFG on the Ringo is actually behind the farm of H2K on that Celeste. That's actually really impressive. Sometimes it's quite hard as Celeste to last hit with Celeste without burning through so much energy, so I'm very impressed to see that.
Yeah, and you can also see it's interesting, their double carry of the flares. So they're really, really aware of the ganks on Celeste, and they, 3L hasn't actually gotten very many successful games yet on Celeste. They're not going to make a nice push. There goes the minion camp. They want this turret, and it looks like they may actually get it because Glaive is trailing behind. He's nowhere near, and they're going to get it. And Celeste has to be very careful now. There goes the doubles, triple shot, quadruple shot there with an additional auto attack from Ringo, showing his dominance there, but no tension bow there, so he didn't really get too much out of that. DION's not going to be too perturbed by that. He's going to go ahead and clear the rest of the lane, and there's that.
It is indeed. He's sitting on 1.9 and 50 gold. That 1.9k in gold is insane. He's probably going to be able to buy that Sorrow Blade straight up. No, he gets the Sorrow Blade in, the Heavy Steel instead. Seeing a little bit there, gets a Swift Shooter just to help with the attack speed. And he's looking quite happy at 6 minutes in, I'd say.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things for me is I don't like to hold on to gold too much because you want to actually allow yourself to do some power spikes in the lane there. And Ringo now coming in on this team fight. Wow! Oh no!
Oh, the reflex block!
What a great block!
The Solar Storm is OP, but the reflect damage is even more. Celeste picking up the kill with a Supernova. DNFG has to back off because H2K, he knows what he's doing. He's probably going to come back. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of engage from Ringo right now. She did have a lot of stacks of her broken myth. She had all of them, but now they've worn off. I would probably go down and engage on her. Wow, the flares are insane.
I would too. I would definitely, if I'm the NFG right now, I would definitely look on that fight. But you gotta be careful with that double stun there. He does get away. He uses both the core collapse, misses. He dodges it. Arden goes down right in front of the turret. Watch out for that core collapse. He does get the kill. Is he gonna get another kill? He's chasing. Hellfire Brew.
Storm Guard in 1 second. Oh! He picks him up! That was an insane turn on Ringo. I did say he needed to engage, and he did, and he picked up the kill. I would be going for gold mine, quite honestly, right now. I would be so happy. Yeah, Adagio can solo it.
That's great. That's a great, and this is why Ringo is so powerful. His ability to just counter like that and just really go at them strong and bully is one of the reasons why I like Ringo, is because you can just pick your time and just go straight at him and pick up those kills, and he does. And he's such a great mechanical player as well on that Ringo.
The thing is, the reason I don't like Celeste is because all of her abilities pretty much make her stationary. She's so easy to counter with anyone that is mobile. If you can just dodge one of them, she won't be able to move out of your next attack and will stay there. So I've never really been a fan of Celeste because of how immobile she is. But in this comp, with it timed right, she doesn't need to be mobile because they will all be lined up for her. That could be something impressive that we see.
Yeah, and we saw in that before the second to last fight, she was able to pick up that supernova kill. So she's doing a good job of linking together the supernovas. And look at the distance at where she is. She's trying not to get in a position. She got caught out there. She needs to be really careful. Needs to stay behind in some of these formations. So Celeste, for me, the problem with Celeste too is the positioning. You get punished by having just a slightly off positioning. If you're not perfect on your positioning in some of these formations that you're coming into these team fights, you can get punished. And you saw that happening there as DION just soaking up a lot of those attacks from Adagio.
You did indeed, and there is a return goal, but he's stunned out of it. And there's the core collapse landing onto Lolicon, and he's silent as well. He's trying to back away, but he will get picked up. We wouldn't be surprised if we see some heliogenesis coming out right now.
Oh,
he's making so many scout traps. Oh my lord, she just managed to dodge one, and he just need a gauntlet so close. There's a core collapse stunning onto the Arden, but it was a nice 1-for-1 kill trade, and that was, I'm not sure why they're being so aggressive on the turrets, because they were literally right there in jungle shot. They just stopped them, killed Adagio so fast, and only just managed to pick up the kill on Celeste.
Yeah, I think if I'm Celeste, and I know that I'm probably going to die anyways, I might actually rotate back towards my teammates, because if you run away like that, you're probably going to get killed anyways, but your teammates are in no position to help you. If you're going to get killed, might as well just rotate in your teammates. They got the stun up, they got the double stun, in fact, and maybe even pick up a kill of their own in that sense. And so that's one thing I would recommend they do in the future.
Yeah, because she managed to get a core collapse off just before she died. She turned around and core collapsed Ringo, followed up with a merciless pursuit, and then an afterburn. That Ringo was not going to survive that transaction.
Yeah, and so you got to think in that sense, and kind of just have that mental fortitude to not panic and just realize what's good for the team.
Too early on the Vanguard, but the reflex block is OP, and she manages to just turn around and kill the Celeste, and that was so well timed. Now Adagio is just doing so much damage. The boots from Rascal just to be able to try and get away. We're going to see Super Arm Code. Looks like he wants to just sit there, wait for his time, bide his time, but he's only got a tension bow, so he's going to be doing pretty much no damage. Wouldn't be surprised if we just see Arden going 1v1 with him. I hate tension bow Enclave so much. And we saw it work well with Arden Allegiant, but we're just seeing here, look at the damage. He couldn't even half health Arden at this stage of the game. He's not too tanky. He doesn't even have his fountain yet. He will now when he goes past this shop, which he didn't buy. He was right by a shop and didn't buy his fountain. I love it.
Yeah, the other thing too is what you're seeing is and there's a Vanguard, I think miscommunication there, thinking that maybe he could jump in and slow on that, but here comes Celeste. There's a little bit split now. Arden needs to kind of regroup with his team, and look at the focus. Oh, that was fantastic. Comes down.
But the blast rumble was even better as the double shot. Oh my god, Clay with the double kill! Oh, that was fantastic. Celeste just being perfect. The ace comes out. Oh my lord, Jordan Quick, what happened there? Why did that go so well for H2K?
Would love to comment on it, but my game froze at that point, so
no way.
I only saw the gauntlet coming down and letting Ringo kind of get away, but then he just got absolutely deleted by an afterburn at the same time. So I don't know what happened after that. So maybe
what happened? The gauntlet came in, and Adagio and Ringo, they were in a fantastic position. They were underneath the rock. They were nowhere near Glaive, but they were in perfect range of the heliogenesis. Ringo wasn't in range to hit Celeste, so they were just taking supernova after supernova, and then Glaive saw the opportunity to just afterburn through the wall, pick up 2 kills in with 1 afterburn, take the stun, take the death, and then you saw Celeste just pick up the kill on the Arden. It was so good. As the Hellfire... Oh! Hellfire, bro! They want to engage on Celeste, she got a reflex block, she does not! That is not the best engage, they were far too far away. I don't like, unless it's a sincere engage or a cleanup, I don't like using my Hellfire, bro.
Yeah, plus she's got that Eve of Harvest, and that's where the Eve of Harvest comes in handy. You get some health back on that, and the heal minion. They're gonna now rotate up, and they're gonna push the turrets. So it's been interesting. They haven't really cared too much about turrets. This DION team kind of just forgetting about the turrets.
That was a really good idea. And look at this, Lolicon looks like he's AFK right now, allowing for his team to get away. Looks like they are just going for a full turret push. They aren't really going for too many objectives. They're going to easily be able to escape from this one. And then they're just going to have Ringo protecting turrets with Arden helping him. This might be a good just push game, end game strategy.
Yeah, and you're seeing also, I'm not sure what happened there with the Adagio. Did he go, might have a disconnect here, so
he might have suicided.
See.
We'll find out when he comes back in.
Battle
he just Battle Royale suicided right there. I don't know why. It looks like he just wanted to. Yeah, I would have gone down fighting. I would have tried to get some damage at the very least. Like, you know. But they allowed Ringo and Arden to get away, so that was a good idea. But the core collapse was so good on Celeste. They landed perfectly, followed up with a Heliogenesis. Now here we go. Now Adagio is in the fight. It's going to do some damage to Rascal. But I see that Vanguard was a little bit too early, in my opinion. Could have used it for a better scenario, but it is down in about 5 seconds after this sentence. So, you know, not bad.
Yeah, and Ringo also now starting to get his build. He's going to be quite dangerous. He just needs to stay away from that double stun. And he blocks one, but here comes Subversive Judgment. He's going against that Glaive. Glaive just deletes him. Look at the Soul Storm in on Adagio. Also showing it. Is that gonna kill him?
Oh my god!
He gets a fantastic heal in time.
That gives the fire. That was the luckiest thing I've ever seen. But they're allowing the Ringo to get pushed away, and Adagio is not going to do too well against the Celeste, especially as he hasn't really got the best amount of crystal. He's actually got a tier 1 armor instead of shield, especially as Celeste seems to be doing the most amount of damage here.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't go with the armor because Celeste is just absolutely wrecking everybody with those supernovas right now, and that was pretty amazing. I was following that little last auto attack from Celeste, and would have killed him if he hadn't healed himself at the last minute. So that was pretty funny to see that, trailing him all across the map.
It's one of the most fun things to run away from is a Celeste base attack. You just see it coming towards you, you've got no health. It shows like the most epic chase of all times, but it looks so harmless, you just want to touch it. It kills you. Oh, it's fantastic. But the gold mine, I'd say right now, is pretty open. It's pretty open for the taking, but Catherine is already rotating down to make sure it is secure. And these guys, like I said, they want to take it. They do want to take this one, but they may get stolen. They're going to put it down towards their tri-brush, and they're having a ton of damage against it.
Not up.
Oh, Blast Tremor, no! I would have used the Blast Tremor to take a gold mine. Would you have used the Blast Tremor?
Oh yeah, Blast Tremor is a great way to steal anything in the middle central, gold mine or Kraken, but it's not up. Unfortunately.
I wouldn't use it on gold mine because Kraken the Helga has just spawned. You want to use it on Helga to steal the Helga. I like the Helga. It's Kraken. She was. Who named her Helga? I don't even know where it's from. Was that the Forms?
I think it was actually in the lore, maybe. Because that would.
I don't think she's actually been named in the lore. I was talking to Playoff Bid, and there's no. I don't think there has been an official name. She's just been so aptly dubbed. Yeah.
Well, I think actually it was in the forums. You're right, but a dev posted in the forums something about it and called it Helga, I believe.
Oh, all right. So there you go. There's some backstage knowledge for you guys. We're seeing the infusions are being popped, though. This could be the fight to end all fights. I wonder where it's going to go. Rascal is a little bit ahead. He really wants this fight. One Blast Tremor with a nice follow-up could finish it. I'm hyping this up a bit too much because nothing's going to happen. They're just going to go for the farm. Ringo went back to base, and I think that was a good move for the Ringo to go back and get a weapon infusion.
And the thing that I think you should really keep an eye on is this Ringo's positioning in this next team fight. If the Ringo can stay alive, if he doesn't get double stunned and focused on from this glaive, if he can stay alive and he gets a damage buff, he will carry this fight and he will win this fight for them and possibly the game. Because if you look at his build, he's got a fantastic build right now. That Sorrow Blade Tarns Monaco combo, amazing. I always go for that when I go on Ringo with a little bit of extra attack speed. And then if you can lock in another Tarns Monaco combined with the weapons fusion, he's just going to absolutely wreck. But he's got to stay alive and he cannot get focused. That's the key here.
Not even slightly, but this is going to be the stall game. They're going to wait for either team to just make a bad choice. But quite honestly, I think DION is so far ahead they can win the fight if they engage. They just need to be able to go down and force the fight, and that will make them back off, and they may be able to win this one, which should be good. They really want to take this Kraken. We're seeing the rotation. The Heliogenesis lands only onto Ringo, and there is a defensive gauntlet, and he's stunned when it lands, and he's actually knocked out 2 of the 2, and we're going to see an ultimate through the wall more than likely. His mini can't take so much damage. There is an ultimate! There is a massive judgment. Army is the first one to pick up, and look at the tournament! Look at the tournament! The family comes in to try and keep them alive, and Haste 2K is staying very comfortably away from the team. My lord, the damage from Ringo as the stun comes out! He's going to turn around, look at it! Oh, the supernova! H2K! H2K with the clutch victory! Just coming out of nowhere, this Celeste is unbelievably powerful. They have no dive against her. This is a fantastic comp to take it more than likely to a game 3.
Yeah, and that was ridiculous. I mean, the bait from DNFG getting baited by Catherine coming in, and you saw Celeste sitting up by that minion camp and just kind of biding the time, then coming across and then just getting that absolute amazing core class in. He just walked right into it. Fantastic job. And the damage from that supernova is ridiculous. I'm not sure if he even had broken mist stacks. It was just amazing upfront supernova damage with that crystal infusion.
No, I think he had full stacks. He was getting them throughout the entirety of the fight. I think he had four or three when he started that one, because he lost them a few when he lost the attack time. But no, he definitely had 5 with that, at least 4 with that supernova onto Adagio, who just destroyed him. And he's still neglecting the shield though. He's still not buying the shield. And here comes the Merciless Pursuit. They're going to try and knock down Adagio by the looks of things. And look at the damage onto Adagio coming out, and the reflex block followed up by the stun. Oh, and Celeste is going to try and pick up Adagio. It's going to be a training star one more time. Oh, the Solar Storm. Now it's going to be an equal fight. This is going to be a Ringo fight if he can just get to her. If he can get to her, this is Ringo's game, and he does. Look at the damage, and the blast tremor misses the Ringo. This is a good time to turn around, in my opinion, and start doing some damage, because she has no energy. This is good. Do the stunner steps. BOP, Ringo. This is going to be close. If she gets a stun, no, she has no energy. She has no energy. The Achilles shot clutch, and the turnaround for DNFG. Oh my lord, the Ringo coming out of nowhere, picking up the fight, cleaning it out while Adagio distracted the Celeste. They killed the Glaive, and that is a fight that this red team need to get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, and all of that comes down to the fact that he dodged the core collapse. So I think he even hit his boots to dodge around that core collapse, because he knew how dangerous that was in that previous engagement, so he learned from that. And now he's actually going to try to solo this Kraken with Adagio coming in, a Glaive far away in his back, trying to clear his back, unaware because there's no vision there. And this is really gutsy, though.
Yeah, well, Glaive will be there by the time they're even halfway done, I think. So it's going to be a Kraken steal time, and Ringo's going to try and do the damage that he can. They're trying to do it all combined. This could be a good afterburn steal. Will we get it? He's hiding the health bar. Oh my lord, now they're going to trap Glaive. Glaive is going to fall as the Hellfire Brew comes out. It is blocked, but the Warhorn is popped to lock him down. This is not good, but Celeste is in a good position right now, because they cannot dive her in this scenario. They are not able to do anything to get really that close to her, because the gauntlet is now popped. The gauntlet is gone for another 80 seconds. So this is going to be quite fun for Celeste. Not so good for Adagio or Ringo though.
Yeah, I think, but that's that afterburn putting this team in a really bad position. Look at how fast that just went down, and you're seeing that crit damage from Ringo playing a huge part of that. And plus with the damage buff from Adagio, they're gonna just kind of let this Kraken go in here. You can see the Helios there is trying to just bait him into those supernovas, but this is not looking good. But you do have Glaive coming up in 1 second. They may only get one turret out of there. Have to be very careful. Very careful.
Took a serious amount of damage, and they do. Look at that supernova hitting both Lolicon and DNFG, coming in with the Vanguard, and thank God the Arden face checked that one, so he was actually able. And now look at the damage. Celeste is absolutely OP, and the Fountain was only popped then. I think this should be a good turnaround, but they don't have any energy. They can't engage. They're going to have to take the Kraken. She may not be able to get this last turret. Looks like she's going to get all the turrets, and the backdoor potential is real. Oh, Ringo's going to be able to take that crystal down really quickly.
Yeah, and it's really and that's the reason why they were taking that damage from Celeste. They wanted to bait Celeste away from the Kraken, because if Celeste had honestly just stayed there, they'd taken down the Kraken. The Kraken would never have gotten that last turret. So a good bait there, and H2K bought it hook, line, and sinker.
I mean, I love these little subtle plays we see. They just managed to pull him out. They stayed in vision just for long enough. You saw that Arden just tuttering back, just keeping H2K, and it has left an open backdoor possibility. This is insane.
Yeah, and will they do it, or will they just kind of try to overpower them?
I think they need to do it. I think they need to do it. We need at least one backdoor of this tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a gauntlet through a wall or something like that. I want to see Arden backdoor on his own. Let his carries like protect and just go backdoor. You know, just dive through the wall, epic style with that gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be careful, too, of catching them out. There goes a flare. They're all three together. Comes in. Ringo has been...
Oh, the defensive gauntlet.
Uh-oh.
But there's the burst of judgment, and it hits the entire team. Ringo was focused. They know they need to take him down. And now Lolicon is in the bad spot right now. Oh, look at the damage in the back line. Lolicon has to back off. And that is a double kill. That is the ace. That is the turnaround. And that is game. They have a minion push. They have a lot of death time on the timers. They may be able to take this one for themselves. That is the turnaround. We may be seeing a game 3 hit today. What do you think? Autocorrect?
Yeah, I think so. This is going to be it. You got so much time in this with the minion wave. That burst coming down. They're going to split their target across both the turrets. 500 damage.
God.
Look at the damage coming in on that. What a fight in that end game. Ringo getting absolutely zoned out there and taken down. That's exactly what they needed. And look at this, our first game 3 of the night.
That is insane. The second game 3 of the tournament. Ringo getting absolutely caught out there, and he just got destroyed. He got locked down. He got stunned. He got everything. He couldn't get the damage off, and that was absolutely beautiful. He bought a breaking point, and that's why you never build a breaking point. Rubbish. He brought a bone saw, and but instead it was a very good play. Adachi not really being able to do much damage, not building defense a little bit too late. But for right now, before I go any further into that, let's have a look at the builds and see how they were able to turn that around so quickly. Mr. Autocorrect, what do you see?
Well, I mean, really standard builds on all sides. Again, the breaking point a bit puzzling for the Ringo by Adagio, also pretty standard as well. Not a lot of defense. But that glaive with that tensionable, keeping that tensionable even until the late game, proving to actually help out that additional 180 damage against a Ringo with not a tier 3 armor, really allowing him to focus in and burst him down. And I think that was the key there. And DION so smart with that last engagement, just going in and that gauntlet actually missing and not able to lock down and keep them away from the Ringo. And that really paid off for DION in that sense. So we're going to game 3, 21-13, emphatic for DION, despite how close it was in the end. You know, you wouldn't even tell by the score, but wow, that was close.
Yeah, it was definitely one of the more fun games of this day. Oh, I am high psyched for this game 3. It will be blind pick. We will be starting it up in the background. The teams will be swapped, of course. So we cannot show the blind pick on the screen because we cannot give either team an unfair advantage because of the small delay time on Mob Crush. So sorry about that. You're going to hear me in autocorrect talking as the blind pick goes along in the background. But autocorrect, we got blind picked. We got comfort picks coming out today. If you're in a blind pick scenario, like, what's your strategy going into this? Like, is it just pick all your best heroes, or is it, okay, this is what they like to pick, this is what we should pick just in case?
Well, there's always got to be an aspect of that. I mean, you always got to, understand your teammate, your enemies, and what they're going to pick, what their comfort picks, and you have to be able to pick around that. But I think also there's an aspect of, do you trust your own teammates? And you should trust your own teammates to come out with those comfort picks and actually carry the damage and think that your guys are gonna be better than the other guys, even if you have a mirror match with the picks. I think it all comes down to the teamwork, in my opinion.
Oh, it does indeed. And I always try and surprise out the enemy team. Like, if you see, I always run off like what meta is and what I see them play the most. I'm pretty sure I'm going to see that. So I go for a surprising pick. I don't go for my own comfort picks in a blind pick scenario. I go for something that I think could be a counter to what they might pick, but is still a strong hero regardless and can't be countered too easily. So I'm not, my comfort pick isn't Blackfeather, but I'm a good Blackfeather. So if I'm in a blind pick scenario, I'm normally going to try and take that Blackfeather, and I'm not a good Skye. So I'm not probably going to ever take that Skye in a 1v1 scenario. I'm more than likely going to pick up Attacker in case they have a Skye. But enough rambling right now because the picks and bans are in, and we have a fantastic blind pick lineup for you today. We have a Glaive, Skye, and Fortress for our blue team, and a Fortress, Ringo, and Blackfeather for our red team. Now, Mr. Autocorrect, this is the third game of this DION versus LLL. Who do you think is going to take this one today?
Well, I mean, I think that the Skye and Glaive is so powerful. Sky in particular can just zoom in and focus in on that Ringo and take Ringo out of the game. Blackfeather, of course, is always kind of a pesky guy, but in the early game, I would definitely take the Sky over the Blackfeather in the early game. But it's all about, I think, the synergy between the Glaive and the Sky that's going to make a big difference. Interesting fortresses on both sides, meaning that they're both going to be super aggressive, and they're going to look at taking out one guy early. Look at the poke from Arm on this Ringo. Definitely Ringo, a comfort pick for him on this. But yeah, really, I think part of it's going to be the jungle play as well.
I think so. We're going to see. We have got that double fortress. I'm not used to seeing. I play rank so much. I'm not used to seeing these blind picks, but they are there indeed. This is not. I've got my money set on this Blackfeather Ringo comp, because Blackfeather can take on Glaive and can take on Sky. Ringo can take on Sky and can take on Glaive. It's kind of like almost like a yin and yang. If Ringo steps out just a little bit too far, Glaive's going to destroy him. If Blackfeather makes one misstep, Sky's going to destroy him. But they have a good opportunity. We're seeing that right now as Glaive is taking so much damage and has to afterburn away to stay alive. I think my money's on red side right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, fair enough. I think definitely, that Ringo is, as we've seen in the last game, super strong and able to just take out people before they even get to the team fight. We saw that in a previous match as well. His ability to just time, his ability to just time the triple hit with that double down perk and some crit, means that you're going to come into the team fight with a guy that's already down 50% HP, and that's really a crucial aspect of that.
Yeah, absolutely, and we need to be timing those Achilles shots with the afterburn so that Blackfeather can just absolutely pummel him. I think this is going to be both these teams are based on really high coordination on knowing what to do, but Blackfeather is straight Slayer, so they can have a little bit of a misstep with a Blackfeather in the late game, and he can still come back and survive.
Yeah, I think for me it's going to be key that Sky play and how much difference that Sky can make. I mean, if you got a really world-class level Sky, his ability to just crit down somebody and take somebody down really fast is going to make a big difference.
Did you see that right there? He did the Insta twisted stroke with the afterburn. Did you see that? Yeah, there you go. There it is. I wasn't lying, viewers. It has actually happened right there. He twisted stroke and then he afterburned in, and when it hit the reach of the afterburn, when he stunned out at the very end, a twisted stroke still hit him. I'm still trying to be able to replicate that, but I'm just not good enough with my little thumbs because I play on the phone. I haven't got my fingers tapping everywhere. I just suck as well. That doesn't help. But we are seeing a little bit of the same goal difference. They are, again, these teams are very passive against each other. The slower playing teams, they're definitely both later scaling comps as well. So they have to play it a little bit passively. So we're going to see there are no kills. This is probably the longest we've gone in the Tesseract without a kill.
Yeah, and you're playing against guys who are they have the ability to really go strong. And I think what we're seeing here, and they're coming in there, Glaive looking in trouble, but Sky comes in with the support and just saying, "Back off! Here's my barrage." And but Fortress has the ability to come in if Glaive pokes out too far.
Yeah, he does. And so does Blackfeather with that Faint of Heart, just to be able to close the gap so quickly. I think he's slowly, it looks like he may be going for, he's got the 6 ins. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that Sorrow Blade happening not too long soon instead of the Serpent's Mask. But in this scenario, especially with the Sky, you'd probably see me building a Serpent's Mask.
Yeah, it's possible. We'll have to see what they build. Looking at DNFG's Sky as well, I'm keeping an eye on that. He continues to build out Pure Crystal. So we'll see if that makes a difference. And he's getting the solo jungle too. He's getting all the jungle by himself as they are dual laning, as Fortress is kind of babysitting that as well. And that's a good move. If your enemy is going to go double lane with your support, then it's good for you to do that as well, because you can also just make sure that there aren't any ganks coming in. But that also means that the junglers in the jungle, how much they're going to get fed and what difference is that going to have an impact on the game later, we have to see.
I do have to agree, but it's looking right now that this red team, they want to pick up a gold mine right here. No, they don't. They just saunter past it. They don't even try and go for it. Not much in it either, though. So probably a better way. It's only been up for like 43 seconds at that time. But they're going to dive immediately on Glaive, but he is ungankable. You don't try and gank a Glaive. And I just realized we got the double weapon comp showing. They're probably going to build out that tension bow procs. But that Ringo is going for that Sorrow Blade Bonesaw. But look at the damage, and they pick up the kill. And now DNFG is coming up to the Blackfeather, and you're about to see why I build the Sorrow Blade, but he didn't even need it. The Rose Offensive picking up the kill as he Serious Strike through it, taking a few hits. This is good for the side of DION right now.
Yeah, and you're seeing just the problem with Sky if you let that Black Feather get to you too quick, and there comes Lolicon, but he's not going to pick up that kill because Arm is there just providing a lot of that backbone support. And so I really like the synergy between these two guys right now, between Arm and Rascal Jor.
It's really good. Like these guys they've probably practiced the strat a lot. So this is the comp they wanted. They probably wanted to play throughout all of this, and now they have it because I think a double weapon with Blackfeather and Ringo works because he's so powerful. And we see here he's building that tanky Blackfeather that I don't like. He's got those tier 3 boots first, and he's not going to have much damage. But right now he doesn't seem to need it because Ringo is really holding the back line as he's almost got that early Sorrow Blade.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of going to be their role and he might even go with a breaking point here with the because if he goes really tanky and then get a breaking point and kind of he'll be able to build stacks because Ringo will just do all the frontline damage, and they might try to focus in on that Black Feather and he'll just continue to survive while Ringo kills everybody. So that might be a strategy that they do. Talking about the teamwork here really quickly, Rascal George Arm again mentioned they were partners in Infamous Spectre previously, so they definitely have a lot of games, hundreds and hundreds of games together. So that synergy showing itself here already.
It is indeed, and H2K, he wanted to go to the backs, and now he's found himself in a really, really bad position. He's trying to get these Heartthrob stacks onto Fortress to try and pick up a kill, and he will get stunned. He Razor Fences out of the depth from above, and now Sky finds himself in a little bit of a bad position with a Fortress and a Black Feather. That's not where you want to be. The slow lands, the Faint of Heart lands, and now it's a Ringo versus a Glaive, and of course Glaive picks up the kill very easily, but there's going to be a quick rotation up to try and get the kill, and this is not going to be the ace at this moment in time, but it will be a kill, and more than likely a turret at this point. This is really good showing from DION.
Yeah, and they're just so quickly the way that they move back and forth up in reinforcing that lane. And even though Glaive got the kill on Ringo, they're going to get the turret on this, I think, with a new minion push. And you're showing just why Blackfeather is so strong and why he gets banned out a lot.
Yeah, he's still at that power point where he says he's an assassin, but there is in no way, shape or form he's an assassin. He is an assassin that can survive, and that is not an assassin in my books.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, and they've done some changes to him as well to try to make him a little bit more assassin. And I have noticed that he is a little bit more squishy, but when you've got when you rush that defense in the beginning, that kind of negates any of those changes, and you can just continue to survive. And the Rosa Fence, making sure you have 2 charges on Rosa Fence or at least 1 charge all the time, super important because you can really escape and get away from a lot of things.
Especially with those tier 3 boots, that Sky is never going to get away, especially with their measly tier 1 boots right now. This is a good position for them to find themselves in, and they could easily start to snowball this if they start putting the pressure on, and that's exactly what they need to do. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing the turret push right now, and there it is, here it comes, and they're going to go for it right now. Maybe they want to get the aggression. They do have Attack of the Pack up, as H2K is just easily able to get out of the way of that full barrage, because she's built the Shadow Glass instead of the Frostburn. And she's not really successfully landing them too much. Is this a good idea? Especially against the Blackfeather.
Well, I think the problem is you don't have a really good reliable stun. You only have the knockback. So the problem is if you don't have that Catherine to give you that stationary target, your death from above isn't going to really hit very often, especially with the Rosa Fence being used to get out of it, as you saw earlier. Ringo is pretty much the only person that's really going to really kind of melt here if you do land that. So for me, it really comes down to the mechanical play of the Sky. If the Sky is able to position in a way that can get that full brunt of either the death from above or the barrage.
Yeah, I have to agree, but we see Glaive here has also prioritized tier 3 boots, but he's got his Sorrow Blade now, and after this jungle sweep here, I'm pretty sure H2K is going to have his Sorrow Blade as well, and that's going to be a massive power spike for the side of DION, and that's something that they need, but they're not really getting these turrets as well as they need to. I think this blind pick is slowly and creeping very quickly into the side of DION's favor.
Yeah, 19.2k to 15.1k already. So that's already a pretty sizable lead. You're looking at 4k difference, and it's only going in the 10-minute mark. So I'm favoring DION strongly right now as well.
I am, and look at the damage already. That Sorrow Blade showing what it's worth, and the punting back on H2K, and he uses Rose Offensive Charge, but just gets immediately punted back. DNFG trying to pick up that healing creep, and he just manages to get it. And we see Rascal's going to be the target of the aggression because of the bleed, and they're not going to be able to push the turret because of it, and they have to back off. Oh, that was good positioning coming out from LLL. Keeping just having the bleed on them, not stopping them getting the turret. Sky just surviving by the skin of her teeth, and they rotated too fast away from the turret, and they're not going to get it at this point.
Yeah, they got to be a little bit careful here. Here comes the Afterburn in to try to catch, but they used the boots to get away there, and that was really good from them. H2K rotating up to kind of provide some support. You might steal a farm here, but he's got to be careful because he's separated from his team, and there they go in, but he gets out with the Rosa fans. They're looking for him, knocked back on that Ringo. That's a 1v1, but look at this. Blackfeather just absolutely staying alive, poking in, and Ringo now in super big trouble. Use the reflex block to get away, but is he going to
Oh! Oh my god!
In the last bit, he survives. That's an ace for DION, and yet another turret.
Easily another turret. I mean, that not going to be two because there's another minion wave pushing up now, but that is absolutely fantastic from DION. They're showing their work. I mean, in a blind pick, I'm probably just going to go with Adagio Blackfeather and Fortress because it's so powerful. We're seeing the strength of it here today. Just Blackfeather and Fortress on their own, and they are just decimating and just doing so much damage with this double weapon comp. I wouldn't be surprised if this game it just stays in the favor of DION.
Yeah, and really the whole thing about this is that it's strong, that they're really super strong in the early game. But not only have they just been winning team fights early, because you're not seeing the kills really rack up for them. It hasn't really changed much, but what you're seeing is the objective pushes are so fast for them. So they're really laser focused on pushing objectives and really continuing to map control with that, because as you push the objectives forward and you take down the objectives, what it allows you to do is it gives you a greater freedom of map control, so you're able to kind of just continue to zone in on the enemy and push them into a corner back onto the turrets, because if you don't have any cover from the turrets, then you're really putting yourself in a vulnerable position. And that's what you're seeing here is 3L is just kind of having to put scout traps in and kind of fortify this back corner, the area of the map. But that allows then DION to continue to snowball their gold advantage at 24.7k to 19.1k.
It does, and look at this. They're going to engage here in a 2v1, and Attack of the Pack comes out, but there's an counter-attack of the Pack, and H2K gets stunned by the death from above, but they delete the tank so fast, and there's the on-guard to pick up the kill, and the minion miner join the fight as well. Look at that, but look at these wolves. They don't even care. This one doesn't even care, and they disappear now, and that's going to be a third turret for DION. Maybe another one if they're quick enough. It looks like that's exactly what they're going to do.
They've got so many minions there too, and the damage that they can do is so fast. Look at their look at the appetite.
Oh my god, this is the game. This could be the game, but they could step out of position here. They need to get the damage off as fast as they can. And oh my god, he's getting so much damage right now. Will they be able to get the game? Looks like they get the game. DION win with a quick defeat, 13-minute game. Oh my lord, that end game push, that 3-turret special. Look at Fox just bouncing up and down.
He's happy. DION. DION looks like they're a little bit in danger there from 3L. 3L showing a pretty good job here, but man alive, did they nail down on that third game. They just said, no way. We are going to show what we're made out of. We're going to put our stamp on it, and they did. 11-2 in a 13-minute game. Far in favor of DION.
Oh, so well played, and DION will be going further into these quarterfinals. Well done to those guys. Do you want to have a look at the builds?
Yeah, I'll take a quick look here. Not too much to say since it was a really quick game. I think some key points here is look at the Sorrow Blades from the Ringo and from the Blackfeather. So not only are you leveraging the barrier that a Blackfeather gets, you're now outputting a lot of damage with that Sorrow Blade. Blackfeather definitely the hero here, but Ringo just not getting focused. So in the past, we saw how actually in the previous game you saw how 3L, they managed to focus in on that Ringo and kill him off, and how strong that was. But I didn't see that strategy coming forward in this game, despite them having that glaive, because they didn't have the Catherine, and instead looking at